Welcome to the podcast of the impossible. I'm Peter Wood, and my guest this week is headlining at the Arlington Cinema and Draft House on November 20th. I'm talking about the one, the only, the great Zucchini.
Hey everybody. Hey guys.
Right.
Hey, thanks for having me back.
I'm excited, and I saw your show at least one time at the Arlington Cinema and Draft House.
Yeah.
That's a cool spot. I mean, they get like top name comics in there.
They get some good comedy in there.
You know, now yours is at an appropriate showtime for the age grade. It's what, 10:30 or 11? Okay.
10:30 in the morning on November 20th.
Yeah.
There.
And so if you're listening to this after November 20th, 2022, hopefully you'll have another opportunity to be there. Yeah. But also, I know on your website there's the public tab. And so whenever you do have events that are open to the public, usually they're cheap or free, you know?
Yeah. So just check I put my public shows on my website and just come on out sometime and say hello. I always like to talk to parents and everybody after the show. Yeah. So come say hello with your kids. And
no, it's a fun, well, I know, my daughter and I have come out to several such shows.
Yeah. Now she's outgrown my show, man.
We did the best we could while she was in the age pocket.
That was cool, man. It was cool.
So.
I had a great time doing her party. You know.
Yeah.
It's cool thing about my show is even when they outgrow it, man, there's new kids coming up.
Yeah. No, it makes a lot of sense.
I have a funny story about that actually.
Yeah.
So I don't know if I ever told you this off air or camera or something, but so my show is geared for 7 and under.
Sure.
And a lot of 3-year-old shows, a million 4-year-old shows, and go up to 7. But I'll never forget this. This dad calls me up, and he's like, "I want you to do." Oh no, I've been to his house 5 years in a row for his kids' 3-year-old party.
Okay.
4-year-old, 5-year-old, 6-year-old, and 7-year-old.
This is the same kid.
Same kid.
Okay.
So I was at his house 5 years in a row.
Gotcha.
So his dad calls me up and goes, "Ian wants you back for his 8-year-old party."
Okay.
And I said, James, I think he's probably outgrown it this year at my show.
Sure.
And he goes, "What are you talking about, Zucchini? He had a blast last year, and he was 7. That was only a year ago."
Yep.
And I said, "I know, James. You got to trust me. It happens between 7 and 8. He's gonna outgrow it. He's gonna outgrow it this year."
Yeah.
And he's like, "Zucchini," and he said it. He was being facetious and he was being funny about it. But he goes, "Zucchini, you've been to my house 5 years in a row. He's requesting you. You got to come back and do his 8-year-old party."
Right.
And I was like, all right, I'll do it. Set it up on a schedule.
Sure.
And I go do the party. And I kid you not, second the show's over, the dad walks up to me and goes, "Huh, I guess he's finally outgrown it." I could not have bombed on that show more than that, man. And I was like, oh no, man. Did I ever tell you this story?
I don't think, no, it doesn't sound familiar. That's so funny.
Yeah. I was like, and I tried to tell him, I was like, I know, man, it happens quickly between 7 and 8.
Yeah. Well, I guess as the parent, you are probably in denial about how much more mature your child is getting.
Sense of humor,
yeah. But you know what you're talking about.
I knew it. And I was like, but here's the interesting thing. Say there's about 30 kids there, and 28 of them are 5-year-olds.
Right.
And 5-year-olds will have a great time. And say there's a couple stragglers that are 8 or 9 years old.
Yeah.
They'll have fun with 5-year-olds.
Sure.
They'll have a good time. The dynamic changes when you put 38-year-olds in there for my particular show. So that's when the dynamic changed a little bit. But,
no, that's and I'm in the same boat, but the opposite, where if somebody comes to me and says, we're having a company holiday party and it's going to be kids and adults.
Yeah.
My question is always like, can you give me a rough, like not only the age spread, but also like
where the majority is.
Yeah, where you don't have to give me a whole demographic breakdown, but like I do, because if it's a bunch of, like, I have done strolling events. One in particular was a couple months ago that I'm thinking about, where like I showed up and I was told it was going to be a family crowd.
Yeah.
And for whatever reason, it is a company with a bunch of young parents.
Yeah.
And so all the kids were like 5 and under.
Right.
And I'm there doing the stuff that I would normally do at like a company cocktail party. And all the kids are, and I was just like trying to channel my inner Zucchini, like, all right, what do I have in my pocket that I can just sort of like play with them? Like,
you're like, I can't do a D light for 45 minutes.
No, yeah, it's battery's going to run out. So it's, again, I totally hear you.
That's happened a couple times.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. I know it's funny. It's funny because I would have been at that same picnic and loved it.
Sure.
It's my kind of interesting. But
I think
if you do like but if I go to that picnic and there's just 10, 11-year-olds there, I'm like,
No,
Peter,
I'm
get over
lucky.
here.
Right. Well, we should be once we learn how to teleport.
Yeah.
We need to be able to have a like break in case of emergency, and you and I can trade.
Yeah, you still got the helicopter.
Yeah. Actually, I mentioned the Arlington, but also one of the other ones you get to go over to often is the theater in Chevy Chase.
The Avalon.
The Avalon. Yes.
You love that.
That's a great venue.
Yeah, love that theater. Love the Draft House.
Yeah. I mentioned the Avalon because I was at a particularly memorable show where there you had a couple of celebrities in the audience.
Yes.
I don't know if you want to share that story.
I'd be happy to share that story. So, because a lot of people don't know the ins and outs of that story.
Yeah.
There is this is actually fun. So this was maybe the first year that Obama was president. I think it was his first year.
Sounds right.
And so I was scheduled to do a show at the Avalon. And then a father called me at the time and said, by the way, my friend goes to, he said my daughter goes to school with the president's daughter, with Sasha Obama, and she may be coming with us to watch you at the Avalon tomorrow.
Yeah, cool.
So I got a little heads up, and I was like, oh, sweet. I was excited. I was excited that president's kids were coming to the show.
Yeah, sure.
I was but they told me to keep it on the down low, which I did. And didn't tell anybody. And so we go to the show, and right before I'm about to start, one of the Secret Service men comes up to me and says, by the way, don't call her up during the show because we don't want her in front of 400 people here.
Sure.
So I said, no problem. I said, I won't call her up. And right before the show starts, the same Secret Service guy comes up to me and says, well, listen, she really wants to help out her friend. And I was planning on calling her friend up because I was good buddies with the dad.
Sure.
And so I said, she wants to help out her friend, so you can call her up also.
Okay.
So when I called her up to help me out with the trick, you could see half the audience kind of being like, doing a double take.
Yeah, like, wait, is
that you're
because right. you were just, you didn't say we have a special guest.
No.
Like it was very underplayed.
Yeah. I didn't make a deal.
You're just getting a couple of girls, to help, or it was
I think I even asked her what her name was.
Sure.
I was like, what's her name? What's her name? And I just, I wasn't like, and here's the president's kid.
Yeah.
So I let people sort of figure it out on their own if they're going to.
Sure.
So they're but the trick I did was when I was going to make all three of them disappear together.
Sure.
Where I hold up a big sheet and they just have to run behind the curtain into all the kids, and I think they were 7 at the time, but all the 3 and 4-year-olds would be like, they're gone, they disappeared.
Right.
And they would have hidden behind the curtain.
Yeah.
Then dawned on me at the time that the Secret Service guy has to keep them in line of sight at all times.
Sure.
Yeah. And I was like, and so he just kind of had this funny look on, like, all right, Trico, bring her back. And
yeah.
And I was like, even though you could see they were hiding behind the curtains.
Yeah.
So I dropped the sheet, and of course they reappeared.
Right.
And then I found out there was a reporter from the Washington Post that just happened to be bringing her kids to the show.
Gotcha.
She wasn't there to report on the fact that the president's kid was there.
Sure.
She just happened to bring her own kid to the show. So she started writing about it on the spot.
Oh, no.
That Sasha was at the Great Zucchini Show and it was going to be in the paper and the whole thing.
Yeah.
So apparently, they're like, have them write about it. The White House got wind of it and said, we don't want our kids to be celebrities.
Yep.
Please, can you not print the story?
Sure.
Well, my mom lives in Delaware.
Okay.
So they weren't able to stop the presses in time in Delaware.
Nice.
So my mom, of course, buys like 40 copies of the Washington Post. It
Sure.
wasn't printed in the DC metro area.
It's fascinating.
So I got like the only 40 copies of like her being at my show.
That's so cool.
At my show, but it was kind of fun, and I downplayed it on purpose when she was there because I didn't. She's only a kid. I didn't want her to feel embarrassed. I wanted her to just enjoy my show like all the other kids did. So I made no mention of it while she was there, but it was, it's kind of funny when you look out and see a couple of Secret Service people with earpieces in the shows, and I know they're definitely not there to protect me. So
right. Well, and that's, part of what I love about that is that not only like of all the tricks that you could have done with them, the one that you and again not through
it's so true. I get what you're saying. You're right.
You could have just had him make a bunch of flowers appear out of a pot, and she never would have left his sight, and everyone would have been happy.
Yeah.
And I know you weren't doing it intentionally. You were just thinking like, okay, I'm going to pick a couple of kids and we're going to do the whole disappearing shtick, and then like
it's so me that wouldn't even dawn on me until later on. Like because I have ADHD anyways, which I do, and it's like it would take me to look back at that and be like, maybe that was not the best call to use that particular trick. But at the time, I'm just like, they'd be perfect for that. So
and they were. Again, like you gave them a fun experience, and the audience, whether they realized who that there was a celebrity there or not, like that it. I'm sure. I can't even imagine how hard it would be to not be to be a child of someone on that high of a
on that scale
level. Yeah.
I was just it was. I was like, and then I had to do a double take myself. I'm like, wait, hold on, time out. I cannot be starstruck because for a 7-year-old.
Sure.
I said I get that she's a famous kid, but I said I would not allow myself to get starstruck on a kid. So.
Oh, it's so hard. That's so the recording Penn and Teller Fool Us both times. It's literally been in a 1,400 seat empty theater,
just the two of you,
with 3 celebrities, Penn and Teller and Allison Hannigan, and that's it. And you some camera guys, of course, but like. That's kind of worse. I wish that there had been a live audience there because I hope that would just sort of diffuse that a little bit, And
but I got to tell you, and I haven't seen your second one. I'm going to see your second one on December 11th.
Sure.
Your second appearance on Penn and Teller, but your first one. Now, so you're auditioning in front of them first. And or they're like, because when you did it, you were in front of the audience, right?
So because of COVID, there was not a live audience
on your first one.
On both of my appearances.
On both, okay. So there's no live audience.
Even the second one, when we filmed it in May of 2022.
Yeah.
Vegas was open, but because of the TV union rules about how big a production could be, that hadn't caught up yet. So it was still a virtual audience.
Well, what's amazing about that? Well, credit to you then, because you made it look. You actually played to just the two of them as if you were playing like this. Theater. Like you had that kind of energy.
Part of it is
that's not easy to do.
It's funny how like. I was just scared to look him in the eye, like I'm sort of trying to, imagine that I'm making eye contact with all these other people because otherwise you're, and not only like Penn and Teller are professional in terms of, being polite spectators, but at the same time they have a job to do. Right.
Yeah.
And like when I go see a magic show, I try really hard to act like a spectator, laughing and clapping and, maybe attempting to put aside some of the knowledge that I have, even if I know what the magician's doing.
Yeah.
I don't want to sit there with my arms crossed. I want to be a good guest.
Well, that's what it is, man. And, like you honestly, every time I see you, like you've never like thrown in the like you always, you always, bring it. And the thing about it, which I think is just great about it, you seem like you're having fun. Like you seem like you really
usually
enjoy
I am.
You enjoy doing it, and I think that's it's amazing too because you just seem like you really like love the business, love being in it, and I really was impressed with you, and so happy
thank
for
you.
you on the Penn Teller one, because I've just always felt like you were one of the good guys in our business, and like I
appreciate it.
I was thrilled for that, but
No, it was definitely a cool opportunity,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
and again, but just that's my main, like I was sad that even getting a do over. I mean, I literally got to do this once in a lifetime thing twice,
Yeah, yeah.
but we hadn't quite figured out the COVID audience thing yet. Like that was the one thing from the first time that I wish would have, would have loved to do it in front of a live
Now,
audience.
how many of your friends, before it airs on December 11th, how many of your friends have actually said, "Seriously, Peter, did you fool them this time?"
Yeah, it is hard.
Keeping it on the down low, like it's like, right?
Yeah, no, it's one. I mean, it was just tough. Like I had to wait longer this time where, I filmed it literally like May 1st or May 2nd.
Yeah.
And the last time I forget, I think it was like 4 months between when I filmed it and when it aired.
Yeah.
And this time, like all the rest of spring and all of summer and most of the fall, like the season didn't even start till October 14th.
Well, the great thing too, like the first time you're there, like they were complimenting your presentation. Like,
Sure, yeah.
So they loved the way that you just presented it to them and said, the way I haven't seen that angle before, and the way you showed it. And so that'd be a big thing, because those guys coming from Penn and Teller,
Sure.
talking about presentation, is like
no, it's
like Lady Gaga telling me I have a good singing voice.
Right. Yeah. No, it was mind blowing.
Yeah. Yeah. That's but no, I'm glued in on this.
Well, thank you.
Yeah.
Well, I did something else I was thinking about that I'm just curious of in terms of your business and your marketing. You've got really good marketing, or maybe I don't exactly know where the line between marketing and sales, like where you want to draw that line, but did you ever have experience with sort of marketing and pitching stuff before you were doing shows, or has that sort of been learned along the way?
I didn't think so until one of my buddies reminded me about this. A lot of my friends have known like 30, 40 years. Like I've had 45 years. One of my best friends I've known since fourth grade, and
Nice.
know most of my life. And one of my buddies the other day reminded me that I used to sell Now Later. Remember those Now Later?
Oh yeah.
In elementary school.
Oh,
So-
nice.
So he's like, remember that you used to have like you'd buy like packs of Now Laters
Okay.
and break them up and then like sell them for like a quarter a piece in
Nice.
school and in
Nice.
elementary school. So I had a funny sort of entrepreneur when it snowed out. I was always out with a shovel.
Okay. Okay.
Shoveling snow. So I always wanted to try to, make that sort of, so I sort of had it. But the as far as the marketing, I don't really do much. It's been sort of most of the people that call me are fairly either their child specifically has requested me, or they have a friend that has told them about me. So most of them have familiarity when they call. So I don't really market a lot, but I'll hand out my cards when I'm at parties and say, or something like that. But most of the times I feel like people are really.
We don't have to push it. I mean, they're not looking for a magician. They're looking usually for you. And that puts you in a great position to not have to sell yourself as hard as somebody who's sort of competing with one or two other guys.
Yeah. It's very rare, for instance, if I'll get the call and somebody's like, "What do you do?"
Sure.
I don't usually get the call. Usually when they call me, they're like, they're aware. They're aware, which is, I'm very thankful for that, because word of mouth is my lifeline. It's like it's what I rely on the most, and I'm hoping that people enjoy what I do when I come to a party, and and that sort of thing, and so
Well, and how much of your early adopting a stage name was that thought? Were you thinking in terms of marketing and branding, or was there something else? Like, did you just kind of luck into that?
I sort of the particular name I kind of lucked into. My dad was just we were sitting around, and my dad was just like, I was like, I think I want to start performing for kids. Okay. And he's like, maybe you need a name. And he was just like, Houdini's taken, the Great Zucchini, and I was
nice.
I was like, that.
Bless you.
Thank you. Sorry.
You good?
And he's like, the great zucchini. I was like, hey, that has a nice little ring to it.
Yeah. Sure.
Peter, it was literally like on the second time. It was like
no focus groups, no spreadsheets, just literally, yeah.
It happened that fast, and I was
That's
like,
funny.
I'll take that one. I'll take that one. So
Awesome.
yeah, and it's fun, and it's kind of sometimes I'll go into a home and like I'll be carrying my suitcase and like if a grandmother is not familiar with me, or like somebody a relative that's visiting from out of town or something, like, you don't look like a zucchini. I'm like, oh, you thought a big squash was gonna walk in here?
Right, sure. No, I think it's just great. I mean, it encompasses. I mean, obviously, aside from just like, it sounds silly. It sounds vaguely magician-y, especially with great, and rhyming with zucchini. But I also think it helps to put you in the right age pocket for your audience, where like if no one is familiar with you at all, and someone says we're thinking about having a 10-year-old birthday party and we're thinking about inviting the great zucchini, that doesn't sound like a good fit. Like, even if I've never seen your show, I have no idea what you do. Somebody who, if you bill yourself as the great zucchini, that does not sound like something my 10-year-old would be into.
Right.
But my 5-year-old, that sounds perfect.
Yeah.
Even I don't know if he shows up looking like a zucchini or sings songs about eating vegetables or whatever, but like that sounds perfect.
Yeah. When you get, and kids, and there's a lot of things you can rhyme with zucchini. You could be like, who called me bikini? Who called me the great fettuccine? I mean, it's a fun rhyming word.
Sure.
Fun rhyming word. So
that's awesome.
Yeah. I mean, sometimes I just, here's the interesting thing is like, sometimes I'll be at a school, or I'll be even at Starbucks, and a child will recognize me, and the mom will be like, "Oh, there's Mr. Zucchini," like it's my real last name,
right.
Mr. Zucchini.
Yes, yeah.
And so
that's great.
And I'm like, then do I have to like remarket that part so that like they're not looking online for Mr. Zucchini? I'm like, you mean the great zucchini?
Right, very different. Yeah, that's hilarious.
Yeah, so
yeah, I'm sure a lot of times if a kid points that out, I've had several parents in public be like, it's almost apologetic. Like the kid has been tugging on their tail and like, I'm sorry to bother you. Are you a magician? And like, it'd be really funny if I was like, no, well, I'm just trying to do the grocery shopping here. What are you talking about? But that kid was like, mommy, there's the great zucchini. And the mom's just trying to play it cool in the Starbucks line,
Oh, yeah. But
so that's awesome.
It's funny though. Like, I love it though. Like if I'm at like Starbucks, or I was at the other day or I was at Dunkin', and a couple kids were with their moms, and I just heard her go, "Yeah, you guys can go say hi to them."
Oh, nice.
And then they ran over and was like, "Hi, great zucchini."
That's awesome.
But I love it.
Yeah.
Like when I'm if I'm out and you recognize, I'm just like, "Oh, what's up, guys?" Like, I love it. I have fun with it.
Penn Teller has talked about that before, where he doesn't understand why people get into show business and then don't want that attention. Like and maybe you're just trying to create your art and whatever, but like, if these are the people who are helping you to stay in business, why wouldn't you want to engage with them and chat with them? And it makes total sense. But
that's what I was telling you when we were at lunch earlier about Penn, is I love that, because Penn's like, he seems like he understands the dynamic also about there's certain people like Penn is a major celebrity in this world, and he understands the impact of him just being cool to some magicians that are like trying to do what he's doing, and like he understands the celebrity of it all.
Sure.
I love people that do that, and just take the time for people like that. And so I was actually more of a fan of Penn. I mean, I was already a fan of Penn's. Not probably at your not as much as you, because I'm looking at your Penn lunchbox over there.
Oh yeah, no, I'm a fan.
And the Penn poster, so
totally.
But I was definitely a fan of Penn. I'm more a fan of his after watching how he treated the guys in there.
Yep.
I was like, all right,
totally.
there he is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you're a celebrity too. And if people want to go to your celebrity website, they can go over to thegreatzucchini.com. And then if they're on Facebook and they want to follow your adventures on there,
Slipped him a 50 under the table.
there you go. That's why. So The Great Zucchini on Facebook. Listen, that is going to do it for this episode.
Yeah.
Thank you. And for more of my public shows and social media and special projects, you can head on over to oftheimpossible.com.
And don't forget to watch.
No, that's fine. We'll get. Hang on.
I was going to give you a December.
I'm not going to stop recording. Go talk.
I was going to say, don't forget to watch Peter on Penn and Teller's show.
Yeah, when does I'm not sure when this episode
December 11th, just
November.
Excuse me.
You're good.
November 11th, just a little bit after 8:30.
It's going to be exciting. Well,
Right.
and probably on YouTube also. So yeah, it's good.
And they don't invite everybody back. I'm telling you, it's very rare to get invited back.
That was probably the most flattering part, is getting a second crack.
Couldn't happen to a better guy. And I'm
appreciate it.
I'm serious. I feel that way.
All right, thank you.